What's happening, Wisdom Warriors? Back at it for another video. So, I want to talk a little bit about the fast and, my detox journey and, a little bit about nutrition. And we'll go into what I spoke on earlier on the short about authenticity and standing in your power, standing in your truth, just being authentic, just speaking what you feel and not masking that and not, just saying what people want to hear, but saying things that you feel true to and you feel true to your soul about, and that's kind of like what I want to touch on today. And I want to talk a little bit about the detox, and just just kind of how it's gone. I've mostly been doing water, and well, not mostly. I have just been doing water, and then about I don't know, I'd say about 2 o'clock or so, 1, 2 o'clock, I incorporated some coconut water. But other than that, I've been detox. I mean, I've been fasting, and what I noticed, um, kind of more so towards the evening time, going into when I'm going to go to sleep. Actually, and not to mention, I woke up a couple times in the middle of the night on the second day, or going into the second day, with a headache, and then it kind of dissipated when I woke up. Um, but I can tell you this: it feels like poison, coming out, or like you just feel toxic. Uh, it's kind of hard to describe, but kind of like if you, I mean, I'm sure you got drunk before, or maybe done some other stuff that is kind of foreign to the body. You probably know what I mean, and it felt like poisonous when you were coming down from whatever you were doing, and that's kind of like the way that I've felt. But I can tell you this: this is the fourth week now, and again, not 4 weeks straight in a row, but every other week. And so it's been every other week I've been fasting, and this is the fourth week of it in total. And it's gotten better, but I still feel that like kind of poisonous toxin, like you just don't feel right. And I feel like it's coming out, it's more noticeable because you're not masking it with the food you're eating, and where your body's constantly working to digest the food. And so you end up starting to feel. Now, mind you, I think that I do believe that years and years ago when I did do fast, I felt a lot worse, and that's normal. You're gonna feel that when you're fasting, because your body's getting a chance to eliminate um, that foreign stuff maybe that you've been putting in your body. It could be skincare products, it could be food, it could be a number of things. It could be the pesticides that are outside that are sprayed, the toxins in the air, the fumes, whatever it is not healthy for us to breathe in or consume. So essentially, our body has to eliminate it. And in doing so, you feel like crap usually. And that's a common thing. But the more and more you do it, and the more cleaner you eat, the better it's going to become over time. So I do notice that in this time in doing so. But I can't negate the fact that I still, didn't felt that toxicity or poison or whatever you want to call it, coming up as the hours go by. And so it was interesting, not to mention this is again the fourth week, and I did another session of breath work in the morning along with meditation and yoga and everything else. But when I did the breath work, I once again, and mind you, since the last time I fasted, it hadn't happened. And I told you this the last few times I did a fast. Well, this time, again, my body went into like this mode of like sweating, immense sweating. Not right away, but it took a little while during the breath work, and then it happened. And I do believe that the breath work is moving the energy through, and that includes emotions, that includes toxins, that everything. So I'm essentially, by doing the breath work while I'm fasting, I'm essentially helping to eliminate the poison and toxins emotionally and physically, whatever that may have been, because I'm sweating it out of the skin, I'm sweating it out of the body, and that's typically what happens when we sweat, you know. But a lot of people don't give our bodies a chance to sweat, because the minute they do start sweating, or if they live in a hot climate, they put the AC on immediately, or they, get in an air conditioned space. They don't give the body a chance to eliminate. And that's typically how the body eliminates, through the sweat glands, through your skin. It eliminates a lot through there. That's why I do a lot of these. I do every day a a far infrared sauna. I'm increasing the time that I'm in there, which I'm starting to notice that I'm sweating more. But for a while, I have been doing it in increments, because you do have to be drinking a ton of water, and I want to make sure that I don't get to the point where I dehydrate, or so. But I do notice it as I increase the time in there. And as it gets more and more into summer and spring, it will definitely, I won't have to be in there as long, because I'll sweat faster. When I lived in South Florida, it was very easy to sweat. You could just go outside and just sweat without even doing anything. But I went to the gym a lot, 7 days a week, 3 hours. I was sweating immensely. So that was elimination right there. But that is the best way to eliminate toxin and poison. And then you fast and do the breath work at the same time, and then you're eliminating even more toxins. And I noticed again, as I said, I was sweating immensely. And today it's a lot colder. And yet I had that come over me as I'm in the middle of the breath work, which was powerful and amazing. And my body started shaking, which is a normal thing, but I could sense it more so because I was fasting. And I noticed that with the fasting, you're noticing a lot more within the body, without outside the body, everything. Everything is heightened, so you're noticing everything. You're able to be with it. So it's been powerful every time. After actually, funny that again, I'm recording and we're at 333 angel numbers. Earlier, I was on a Zoom, healing to completion, a Q&A Zoom, and it was 222. I've definitely been seeing synchronicities left and right with numbers. Now it's 334, and I looked away for a second, and and turned 334. So obviously, it was meant for me to see 333. And I'm gonna look that up after I drop this video, and I'm gonna break my fast with probably some lentil soup, which has a little bit of carrots and lentils, and I do try to, and maybe a little bit of hummus. I do try to do it very lightly, because you don't want to put too much overload on the body. Right away, just start slamming food down. You don't want to do that. You want to take it slow and, just maybe have some soup and some hummus, that would suffice. In the past, I used to break it with like some grapefruit and almonds, crushed almonds, like where you blend almonds and it turns into like almost like a sand. And then you mix the grapefruit with it, and it's amazing. It's the most amazing food, and it's such a good detox. You just made me want to think about getting some grapefruits next time I go to the organic supermarket, and then grind up some almonds and pour some of that juice with the almonds. It's amazing. Try it. It's a good detox. It will detox you, just kind of like watermelon too. But I haven't been seeing regular watermelon anymore. It's these miniature ones with no seeds, and I'm not down with those. Um, I don't feel that I feel like they're modified, and I'm not interested in that. I want the real watermelon, which I haven't seen the large watermelons anymore. You don't see them anymore. I can't remember the last time I saw a regular sized watermelon. So yeah, I wanted to touch a little bit on this because I have a lot of wisdom to bring with nutrition. I've been through a lot in my 44 years with nutrition, and I've seen a lot with my father and what he taught me, and what I learned just on my journey. And a lot of the foods we eat on a constant basis are inflammatory foods, and that be carbs and sugar and stuff like that are extremely inflammatory, and they bring inflammation in the body, which then causes disease in the body. So, I definitely want to talk about this, um, and but we're gonna move on because I said I was gonna talk shortly about that, and then I'm gonna move in. I wanted to move into like being authentic, but before I do that, if you haven't already, drop a like on the video. It helps us immensely grow the channel. Please comment. Please subscribe. I love you all so much. We're growing this community. Please help share these videos out as they will help somebody. I love you all so much, and let's continue. So, authenticity, or being authentic and really speaking your truth and not masking your truth and just saying what somebody else wants you to hear, is not how we're moving in 2023. The days of that, I feel like, are over. And I feel like we have to speak our truth. I feel like that also causes us disease in the body when we are not authentic to ourselves, when we're not in line, when we say yes when we want to say no, and we say no when we want to say yes, and we just do something out of getting acceptance or love from someone else, or to be accepted in their group or their clique, or to be accepted by this lover or this wife or husband that I've been married to for majority of my life. All of those things are not being true and authentic to yourself. I'm not telling you to go tell your husband or wife I'm done because of what Darren said on Wisdom Warriors YouTube channel. You do what you feel called to do. What I speak about on here is what I feel called to do and what I feel in alignment with. And what I feel in alignment with is speaking my truth and saying what's on my mind and saying what I feel is right for me to say or do or be around. Like do I want to be around these people, or do I want to go to this event, or do I want to go to this mall or shopping place and spend my time there, or do I want to read this book, or do I want to fill my mind with knowledge, or do I want to get a massage and take care of my body and give more to myself, and self-love. Like, what do you want for you? Not what somebody else wants you for you. Not because you're in a marriage and you have to compromise. Because in the end, it's all about you. In the end, that marriage may not even be around anymore. In the end, that divine or the universe may decide that it's run its course, and you can there's nothing you can do about it. Just like somebody in your life that passes away and there's nothing you can do about it. And you felt like, well, I could have done this or I could have done that. Well, majority of the time you couldn't, because I watched it. I've had it happen numerous times in my life, and I'm going off of my experience and what I've experienced. And, truth be told is a lot of the things we think we have control over, we slowly learn that we don't. And a lot of these diseases that we experience, or illness or health challenges, are for us to detach and let go of attachment and let go of control and surrender and let go, and just be as present and in the now as possible, and to learn to stay present and stay in the now as much as possible, because that is essentially why a lot of these things happen, because we aren't present and we aren't in the now. We're either taking selfies of ourselves, we're taking ourselves, we go on a trip and we're out in nature, or we're even out in nature and we're shooting pictures of ourselves, or we're shooting pictures of nature all around us. And then, but where is the presence? Where is that presence of you just being there without that phone or that technology? Because I've given you guys way, way back in the beginning when I was recording some shorts, I talked about leaving your technology back at your house and going for a walk in nature or in your neighborhood without it, and then do it with it and see the difference between the both. And I tell you right now, it feels so much lighter without it than it does with it. It feels more heavy and more dense with the technology. And without it, it feels more light and freeing. And like you're not entangled in this, I got to answer these texts or read these emails or respond to the calls that came through. You don't feel that urgency of doing that. You begin to let that begins to fall off, and you begin to let go of that. And it's truly like freeing and magnificent, because the only jail that we're in is within ourselves. It's not the matrix in the outer world that is imprisoning us. It's within us. Within our mind, within our body. It's not outside of us. It's not that person that you're getting into an argument with. It's you, yourself, internally. It took me many, many years of reflection and being with myself and meditating, and the ups and downs I had to go through to learn these powerful tools that I'm bringing to you guys all the time. And I even have a lot more to come, that we can use in our daily lives to stand in the fire and not get burned, to be in the chaos and still feel peace within. And it's a constant process of learning for me too. you know uh, every one of us are on that journey. um, and it's beautiful and magical when you have all these tools at your disposal to use anytime you want, at any moment of chaos or feeling of chaos. you know um, And like I said, there's a lot I have to share that I've been through, that I've gone through, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to it. And and that's the beauty of me coming on here. And when I speak, I'm not only speaking to you, but I'm speaking to myself, and I'm seeing the growth within myself, and I'm seeing the level ups that I'm making, and individuals are telling me that they see it, and wow, you've come leaps and bounds from where you were, and I see it. I see the leaps and bounds I've made from 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Reflection is huge when you can sit and reflect, but not have judgment upon yourself for being that way, because you only knew so much at the time. And so you have to hold the level of empathy and compassion for that version of yourself, that version of yourself that was doing the things that you were doing back then, because that's all you knew. That's the best you knew, and And that's okay. That's okay, man. We're evolving every day. We're growing every day, and I feel like these situations from the past and up to this point have all taught us something and prepared us and conditioned us to be ready for what's next to come, you know, because we wouldn't be able to get into that relationship if we didn't go through the previous ones, and go through the previous experiences, and for that, I'm grateful for that. It's so truly a blessing and amazing when you can actually realize and reflect on these powerful moments that have changed your life for the future version of yourself, you know? So, like I said, I had some ideas of what I was going to come on and talk about, but I end up, like always, whatever starts coming through, I talked about it. I said I wanted to hit on authenticity and being authentic with yourself and stepping out in your truth and your power, and just the knowing that I feel called to say this or I don't feel called, or I feel called to talk with this person or I don't, or I feel called to go to this event or I don't, and the more you can listen to your inner guide, your inner self, the happier you're going to be, because you're not going to end up going to a situation or a gathering or a place and resenting yourself for doing it, because now you're upset that you're there and you're upset who you're around and you're upset with what they're engaging in and what you're sitting there and having to listen to. By meditating and by doing yoga and by going in nature and fasting and all these different things, they can help you to get closer to your intuition and your higher self, to understand what is best for you in that moment, whether it be agreeing to do something out of not wanting to start a fight with somebody and just doing it because you don't want to have trouble with somebody or conflict. And that is the wrong thing to do, because then you end up sitting with yourself for weeks on end, upset, not knowing why you're upset, and then having to heal from that. And then you have resentment towards that other individual because you did something you didn't want to do and you felt like you were forced to do it, when in actuality, that was your choice. So, it comes a point where the awareness is so important, and following our truth and following what we feel called to do in that moment through an energy, a feeling of an energy, a feeling like I don't feel like doing that today, or I do. Like I don't, I didn't have any expectations if I'm going to fast again. I said, well, I'm planning on it. If it doesn't happen, I won't do it. And then if it does, it does. So I don't put these expectations on myself and for how long I'm going to do it for, you know? So, and then you don't place judgment on yourself because you didn't do it as long as you said you were going to do it, or whatever the situation may be, whether it's with a romantic partner, like, oh well, I didn't feel like having sex with this person but I did it because they wanted it. Yes, there's compromise, but there comes a point where you have to honor your own way of being, honor your alignment, honor how you feel, also with taking into account that giving, yes, is important, but not to sacrifice how you feel. And if you don't feel right about it, then you don't do it, because then you're going to resent them and you're going to resent yourself. And that's not going to end up well for the relationship in any stretch of the imagination. So I I want to come away from this video leaving you thinking about, are you showing up in life being authentic and true to yourself, and feeling like you're doing things out of in alignment for you and what you want and what you need and the love you want to give to yourself. And that's what I want you to take away from this video, to think about your life and to ask yourself, are you being authentic with yourself and authentic to the world? Because it goes both ways. But mainly, are you being authentic and true to yourself? Are you listening to your inner guide and paying attention to what is right for you? because that is the key to life. That is self love. That is honoring your inner child, honoring you, honoring your higher self, honoring your soul, honoring just you as a person. And in the end, if that person is meant to be around, whether they're a romantic partner, a friendship, a relationship, then they will be. If they're not, then they won't be. And that's the truth. Truth be told, you find out who rides and who doesn't for you. You know, you find that out real quick when the challenges arise, when you have health challenges, when you have things that come up. You find out who's riding for you and who isn't. And it's a beautiful thing when you can see that. And I'm also getting like I've done a lot of the last week or so heart opening meditations, guided meditations around the heart opening. I've been fully immersed, and it's beautiful because I know that I'm welcoming in my divine connection, and I'm saying it right here on this video because I know it's coming in. I know she's coming in. Um, I've just seen a lot of things leading up to it, and I've put in the work, and I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm open. I'm receptive. And I hope you guys got something out of this video. I want to leave you with write down in a journal, or speak to yourself in nature or in silence. Are you being true to yourself? Are you being authentic with these people, with your family, with your friends, with your romantic partner, with whoever it is, with your job? Are you being authentic? Are you staying true to yourself? Are you showing up authentically? And you'll start to see really quickly how things diminish of what you used to do before and what you'll do now when you start to have that awareness of, are you being authentic or are you not? So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I love you all so much. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't liked the video, like it if you like it. If you don't, you don't. Move on to the next. And share it and comment. Do whatever you please. I love you all no matter what you do. I'm grateful that you're listening to my content. I'm grateful that you're sharing it out. I'm grateful just to be here and to have this platform of 31 subscribers to share my life story and my life journey, that it in hopes could help one of you on your journey, and in hopes that you learn something from what I've experienced. And that is the best feeling in the world. From my heart to yours, I love you all so much. Thank you again. I will talk to you about, probably if I drop another video tomorrow, I will talk more in depth about the detox and the fast, and maybe we'll go more into authenticity and being authentic. But from the bottom of my heart, I'm going to close this out now. I love you guys so much. Put your hand on your heart and just send love to whoever you can, family, friends, the world, the planet. We are healing this planet together as one and connected as one, because we are connected and we are one. I love you all so much. Let's go, Wisdom Warriors!